Good afternoon, everyone. Can you hear me?
Oh yeah, I can hear
Yes.
There we go. I think I'm getting my audio right. Okay, so today on our agenda, we've got more about portfolios, and so we've already talked about portfolios a couple of times now. Part of what I was wanting to do, seeing if you'd want to do, is if there's anyone that would like to go through what they have for a portfolio and like to, I guess, walk us through your ideas, what it looks like. Others in the class can I guess if you have any questions, they can kind of respond. Would anyone be willing to do that?
I can.
That'd be great. I've got a 1 second. I've got a question here.
Sure.
Submitted link for. Okay, so I had a message sent to me that's asking for the final portfolio submission, what to submit for it, and he suggests submitting a link along with a screenshot of the original to demonstrate, because most likely you've modified the same location. You may or may not have a screenshot of the original, right? Unless you were thinking about that. So I guess for the most part, probably submitting the link to your updated portfolio, even if it's the same link as your previous one. That way the submission shows up in the Brightspace system. So if you do have a screenshot of the previous one, yeah, upload that as well. But definitely the link so we can jump to it and look at it. Okay. So yeah, if let me see, I need to probably share the screen with you, don't I?
Yep.
Gabriella, is that right?
Yes.
Is that who was talking? Okay.
Yes, it is.
What do I do? More. Do I make you a co-host?
I think if you click on the share screen and there's an arrow on it, if you allow the multiple participants to share at once, I think it lets anyone share.
Advanced. Share computer sound, view, share. Let me try, whoops, stop that. Multiple participants can share simultaneously. Okay, check that.
Awesome. I can share now.
Perfect, okay.
Okay, so I use WordPress for mine. It's nothing that special, but this is what I have. I have a little about me, which I'll get back to. There's a little thing about me. And then at first, I just include just some designs that I've done for different classes and stuff. Also, my major is UX, so I do UX. Then I have my design philosophy, which just includes like some of the main things I focus on, or like that I think about when I'm designing, with just like little descriptions about that. And then I just have my 3 most recent or favorite projects with a little thing about them. And so also like the type of language I use on my portfolio is sort of like personal. Like it's about, I'm like and like how I say like hi, like it's more casual, I guess, because I want it to show more of my personality, I guess. So then you can click on the titles and such, and it shows some of the screenshots of documentation and some of the like the process that we went to. I do plan on adding like maybe a little section up top about the design process and then my specific like contributions to those projects. And these were both, the other two projects are just personal. Some of the other projects I've worked on are like with groups. I mostly just include documentation and whatnot because that's like a typical thing that we do, I guess. On this one, for example, I also have the ability to like download documentation if they want to read more about that or see more detailed stuff that's not just shown on these screens. And then I have my About Me, which just sort of talks about, about me. It's my bio. And I have like contact things on there. But that's it. I know it's not much. It's pretty simple, but that's my portfolio.
That looks nice. Thank you, Gabriella. Yeah, I think the personal aspect is appropriate for the portfolio because it is all about you, right? So I like that. You've got a nice design in your portfolio. It looks like it flows pretty well. I don't know if anyone had any questions or anything. I don't see anything in chat right now. Or if you had any questions about what you've done that you want to pose, but.
I still have things to change for my final one. I have feedback from that too. So like, I know that I'll probably end up adding more within each project about like, just like a bigger overview of it because they mostly just have sort of the specifics in it. But yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No, I think if you're trying to make your portfolio about the specialization that you're going into and highlighting those aspects of your skills, that's very good for your portfolio. And I don't necessarily think that a portfolio needs to be built in any particular like it, if you're in web programming and design, maybe it would behoove you to build your website from scratch because that's what you're showing off, right? But beyond that, I think it's all about just presenting yourself well. So I don't think what you're using matters quite as much as the content of it does, right?
Right. Thank you.
Would anyone else like to?
So a few eruptions are. Now we can move a little bits and pieces of a situation or simple behavior. Have more. Here we have high structure plastic material that comes out during the eruption.
Is that you, Angela?
Oh, sorry.
So, do we have anyone else that would like to go through what they have for their portfolio?
I would like to.
Okay, great.
Should I just share screen, I'm guessing?
That would be probably the easiest.
All right. I hadn't really changed anything since last time I had this, though I know I need to have a compressed version of this image because when it probably won't do it now because it's cached, but it likes to load really slowly.
Yeah, you might look at the overall size of it, see how many kilobytes it is, and yeah, that'd be you should be able to have a compressed version that is still high enough quality for display. But yeah, sorry, go ahead.
I have a small little, it's not really that small, but I have a bio. It talks about kind of my talents that I like, what I do in my pastime. It has an email and what I have here after the About Me is above here. It goes to the projects, and it has them in chronological order. And it kind of describes them, maybe a bit on why they're here. The images kind of act as the link with a little zoom thing. It's almost like something I'll see on websites where people are like posting games or whatever to show off. Not really much else to it though. So I was wondering what I should add.
Is just a question about the chronological order.
It
Do you
oh,
do you feel like it shows how your skills have developed over time?
a bit. For instance, this is a web final from my freshman year before I came to Purdue. And this site is also a portfolio just made with HTML and CSS. I don't think there's any JavaScript here. And I think there's a bit of progression because here it's just kind of me messing around with P5, but this one shows off a bit more of a practical use of JavaScript with scrolling pictures and whatnot.
Yeah, you could if you've delved into any jQuery, you could turn each of these into they could be images that scroll out and back. You could do that zoom where the image actually grows outside your bounding box if you wanted to, where it actually grows on the screen and then goes back.
Oh,
There's and it's pretty easy to do. You just you have to learn the basics of how to do it first is all. But there's a lot that you could play with there. I'd probably try and work on your white space. Maybe either try to narrow the page or something along those lines. Maybe not center all the text, just for legibility. Most people, no matter what they're reading, if it's printed or on screen, it's usually got a left justified border, unless it's just a small blurb about something.
all right.
But yeah, those are some things that come to mind for me. Is there, I don't know if anyone else in the class would like to contribute, or my chat disappeared, so I'm going to pull that back up so I can see it. So we've got a suggestion, maybe along with kind of a lot of the white space, maybe adding some color. Maybe experiment with. There's nothing wrong with a white background as long as you know, there's, I guess it's not all white is what I'd say. So maybe you could put each one into its own container, and that container maybe has its own background to kind of separate it off the page. Like maybe it's in front of the page some.
I could imagine like kind of an alternating background. Like one might be a black or gray with white text, and then the other one's kind of a lighter color.
Yeah, be careful with your the color of your text, I guess. I'd keep the color of your text the same, except for like where you've got a highlight, like on Piskel there. But like generally, if I don't think you'd want it would be advisable to switch from like white text on a dark background to dark text on a white background on the same page. It's not easy on the eyes.
Oh yeah, yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. Well, thank you, Stacy.
You're welcome.
Do we have anyone else that would like to share what they have in their portfolio? Anyone else? So I've got, let's see. I just searched for, oh, what happened? Are you still there? It's like it logged me out or something. I'm screen sharing. Let's stop that. What was I just sharing?
I saw the Zoom login screen.
Okay.
There was a thing behind it. Or a screen behind it.
That's what messed me up. I thought I had chosen the one that I just looked for like some animation portfolios, and I had found one, and that's the one I thought I had chosen. That one. Okay. So are all of you seeing the Georgie Lord? I haven't gone through this thoroughly. I've clicked on a few links. I need to bring my chat back up because it disappeared on me again.
Oh yeah, I can see it.
Chat. There we go. So, and I'm not saying this is, you know, the best or anything, just another one for us to look at. But I kind of like how he's got basically a clock here made from a dish and spoon, and I'm not sure why that's laying sideways, but it is. We'll see. Hopefully my internet. So that's kind of cool. Short and sweet. This involves a gas pump nozzle, so I'm interested to see what's going to happen here. Okay. So the for this one, there's it looks like some pretty nicely done animations. I kind of like the brevity of the ones we've looked at, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's, you know, everything has to be brief like that. I'm a little cautious of because I didn't click on all of these, so I would hate to click on one and find something that I didn't know was there. So these are, I guess, some product images that this person's done. It's kind of like a Pinterest style, right? Just kind of a layout of everything, but I think it works. Your eyes go to the product, which is what they're wanting to show off, right? So it's some of them have some animation to them. Some of them are stills. So that was one. I think someone else said that. Well, covered up my stop share. There we go. Every time it makes my chat disappear.
Excuse me?
Yes.
I have a question. How do I send you my portfolio mockup if I want to show it in this?
I believe you should be able to share your screen. So you can just, do you have an option that says share screen, and then it'll let you choose the window that you want to share?
Yes.
So yeah, if you want to do that.
Okay, just a moment. Are you getting this? Oh, am I showing my screen?
Oops. You're sharing your screen. If you were talking, I wasn't hearing anything.
Okay, I wasn't talking.
Okay. Yeah, if you want to just talk through what you've done there.
So, as you can see, I have I haven't written my bio yet, but as a animation major, I figured it would be best if I could show off some of my 3D rendering, because that's what I've got the most of right now. And I've done some writing, so I was going to take a sample of like a paragraph or so of something I've written to show my current ability level. And I was going to have a brief bio. And so I wanted to know how I can improve my formatting and the information communication of my portfolio. Thank you.
Okay. So I always use my mouse and try to scroll through. So it's a lot of white space. So I would rather than having the words sample of my writing and link to a gallery, probably you could make those smaller, but actually have images in those spaces.
Yeah, I was going to fill those in
Yeah.
with some
Maybe
stuff.
maybe these laid out here are kind of similar to the one we just looked at, and I think that's a lot of what you want to accomplish is getting the visual appeal to whoever is looking at it. You might maybe experiment with some color, maybe some color in your text, maybe. The thick black on white is, I guess it reminds me of printed paper, kind of, if that makes sense. Just I guess I'm thinking of maybe work with some different design elements in your coloring or your backgrounds. You could possibly lower on the screen. You have kind of some a little bit farther. Your images there they're still in that white space, but they've kind of got the column aspects in between them. I kind of like that, those gutterings a little better than the black lines that kind of separate things.
Oh, okay. You think the white, the white breaks are better than these lines?
Yeah, I think that's a little better approach than the black lines.
Okay.
And just kind of it accomplishes the same thing, but it's in a different way, right? It's I think it looks a little cleaner towards the bottom of the page than it does at the top of the page.
Yeah. So you said I should make it look less like printed paper. So is the white background a problem?
I don't think it's necessarily a problem. There's just a lot of it. So again, comparing the bottom to the top. So as you put more into these white boxes, that may change a lot.
Yeah.
But on the bottom, that white background is still there, but you've covered it up with the images. So you don't see, you don't see all of that white.
Okay, so the gallery section is good.
I like that layout better than what you have in the top up there. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if
Maybe I could maybe put another image or some more lighting in a space here because the link won't take up much space.
right. Yeah, I definitely use some imagery there.
Okay, because I expect that the lighting sample could take this space and the bio will take up this. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing.
Okay.
Let's see. Okay, so it looks like Joe has shared his. Did you want to share the screen and talk through it, Joe, or did you want me to bring it up?
You can bring it up.
Okay. Come on. Okay. So looking at Joe's here, we've got animation and 3D modeling. Again, I like getting right to the point of showing off the design elements, showing what you've done. Well, I guess currently they don't go anywhere. I guess, so this is 250.01, right? So, so as you go forward, you'll have more and more and more. But I like the pieces that you've chosen there. I like that it's again kind of breaks up from the background, so it's not it doesn't look like just a white page. You might experiment with keeping your name at the top as you scroll up, kind of like your home and home portfolio about me. Maybe putting your name there so it stays there and doesn't disappear from the screen.
Yeah, if I can find a way to do that, definitely.
And then in your about me, you might put the highlights of your resume and then also allow them to download a PDF of your resume. And I'm not. And then your contact is it a form or is it just your contact information?
I think it's a form.
Okay.
Yeah, I might change that to contact information because I think that would probably be more useful. I'll see.
Yeah, as you start to give it to companies, you definitely don't want them to have to look for how to get a hold of you, right? You want it to be pretty easy for them to contact you. But I guess I was avoiding bringing up your contact information with everyone on the screen was all. But yeah, I like the look. It's pretty clean. I think that's my main suggestion is probably, trying to keep your name up there on the screen so it doesn't go away.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Let's see. Got one or two in chat here. Jay, if you don't mind, there's still a lot of work to be done. Can share. And then does our portfolio have to be hosted on the web or can we turn in a document to Brightspace? Does Brightspace specify before I answer that question? I'm pulling up my web browser here. Looks like we do not specifically say that it has to be a website. I think that's probably the best. In the end, I think you should work towards that. So coming back to the question from Gustav, does our portfolio have to be hosted on the web or can we turn in a document to Brightspace? So if you've got, if you've been working on basically nicely designed pages of what you want to turn into a digital portfolio, then yeah, turn that in. But I think you should definitely be working towards doing an online portfolio. I think that's the best and easiest way to get it to anybody that you want to get it to, versus it being a document of some kind or printed off. Jay, if you'd like to go through yours, sure. We've got about 15 minutes left.
Okay. But like I said, there's a lot of work to be done.
Okay.
One moment. Gotta Okay. So this is the homepage of mine. All the pictures in the on this website are actually ones that I have taken. So
That's good.
I made sure. I have a little about me section and then a little logo I made for a class a year or so back because I
Okay.
like puns.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I was chuckling at.
And then I've separated my 3D and 2D. I have I don't have much in either quite yet, but I have some 3D models from Sketchfab that I've done. Because it
Nice.
lets
Yeah.
you manipulate and
Right. And that's important.
wireframes and everything. And then my 2D is a slideshow. And then each one has a caption with what programs I use to make it.
Okay.
Or if they were hand drawn, what mediums. And then just some contact information, and then my resume, which is downloadable.
Good.
Like I said, there is still a lot of work to be done, but that's what I have.
That's good. That's I mean, it's definitely a great start. I like your layout and your use of columns, having like your about me on the left there with your image on the right, rather than trying to span the whole space with text. I might initially, again, and this isn't a necessity, but you might ask yourself if you want your name to stay visible the entire time, or it makes sense as you scroll up for just the navigation to show, but it is a portfolio. And as you send it to people, if you put yourself in the shoes of the person who's looking at the portfolios, probably going through several, I asked myself, would I want my name to be visible in some way so that it doesn't leave the screen? That might be my suggestion, like I had for another one.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, thank you. Let's see where we're at. Would anyone else like to go through theirs? We've got a few minutes left. Let's see what I have over here. If anyone else was thinking they'd like to go through or anything, just let me know. I'm scanning through a few others.
Quick question.
Yes, go ahead.
During when we were showing off our mock-ups earlier in the year, I put mines in chat, but realized I didn't actually upload it to Brightspace until now.
Okay, so what I'll say is, contact Hannah, and you can CC me and Dr. McGraw, but work with Hannah to get that taken care of. We'll still allow it. We're fairly lenient, and have been with quite a few people and that have missed a deadline for one reason or another. So,
All right, thanks.
yep. So, anything else? Anyone else? I hear sound from somebody.
Sorry that I muted myself.
It's okay. I think we've all been there. So, I'm going to bring up this one last one and we'll look at it. So here's another one. Again, notice that the left-hand column here, name stays there, contact stays there. The content changes over here. So kind of one of the things that I was talking about with a couple of you. But we've got some sketching and how their sketching is turned into closer to what they're developing. And again, you're still pretty early on in your portfolio, but you're striving towards making better and better pieces that you can put in your portfolio, right? So this, I've no idea how, if this person has been at a studio for years and they've got lots of things, or if they're a student. I don't know that about this person, but got some renderings. Pretty nicely done. Again, we've got a note at the top that says this person was responsible for character colors, lighting, effects, color only. So again, showing off what they're capable of doing. Oh, it's still loading. So just another example for you to look through. And again, we've seen this on a couple of yours. This layout with just enough gutter between each one for separation, and they don't necessarily have to line up. This white doesn't have to go across like that. It actually kind of looks better if it doesn't. But this seems to be a pretty common approach and a pretty visually appealing approach as well. All right, do we have any other questions? We've got from Jay, seems to be a lot of stuff for Book of Life and Star versus the Forces of Evil TV show, I think, 4th season. Yeah. So I mean, just looking at that portfolio, I would agree. Not knowing those things that you mentioned there, just looking at the end product that's in their portfolio. Yes, I'd tend to say they were a professional as well. But that's what you're striving towards, right? That's, you know, down the road, you're trying to make your a better piece each time, and then show that off in your portfolio. So, any other questions before we wrap class up here? Okay. Well, those of you that participated and shared, I guess is what I should say. Those of you that shared, thank you very much. That was nice of you, and I hope this was helpful. Looking at your portfolio. Again, make sure you get those submitted, and I hope you have a good rest of the week.
Thank you.
Thanks.